Hello, I'm FGX Toycat, and you know what the biggest problem with Minecraft videos is they don't show the mundane parts of Minecraft, and they don't show them for extreme amounts of time. So you know what today's video is? It is exclusively the mildly mundane parts of Minecraft, such as the fact that to fuel all of these furnaces, you need some form of furnace fuel, right? And as soon as a furnace runs out, you need to go into the chest, you need to grab the buckets, and you need to fill them with lava. So the first task we're doing today is we're filling up a bunch of buckets of lava, and I really do mean a bunch of buckets, and from there I'm going to give you a bit of a walkthrough in Minecraft's most mundane tasks, and you know what, we're going to cut as little as possible except what we just cut there, but that's to prove that we can cut but we won't cut, which is more important than just not cutting, because that's the easiest way to make videos, which maybe is really the whole conspiracy about what's going on here. But yeah, people really enjoy the mundane parts of Minecraft, I think at least, and today we're going to test that theory by literally just filling up some lava buckets, and then if we're really lucky, we're going to chop down some more trees too. It's going to be a crazy world that you get to enjoy as part of your Update Adventures Let's Play episode 427. So with that said, let's dive into the whole idea of cutting versus not cutting videos as a whole, or like editing versus not editing, you might want to call it that way. Because obviously the trend on YouTube is definitely towards very high, fast-paced, cut everywhere kind of videos, and that's why, it definitely makes sense on the algorithm level, which is all the more prevalent today than ever before, right? That you should, have lots and lots of cuts and zooms, and oh, I'm talking about my mutton now, so now the mutton's going to be super zoomed in, although it's being cut off by the screen, but you can do stuff like that all the time if you want to, and that is definitely, smart on some business level, but I also think that there is a place for long, non-cut content necessarily. And that's why I'm going to try my very best for as much of this video as possible to give you just what it feels like to play some Minecraft doing some activities that need to get done. And, activities that usually every single YouTuber is going to do off the camera, but let's do it on the camera. Or it's actually not a camera. Fun fact, these videos are actually recorded using a capture device. Also, fun fact, I grabbed the wrong chest, so now we're going to have to put buckets of lava into a already kind of filled chest, but it's fine. It should hopefully work out. There's one mistake I always make here that you're going to see me be very nervous to try not to make. Oh, and you just saw me make it right there because I miscalculated. So yeah, it's really easy to just lose 3 bits of iron instantly by just doing what I did right there. It's pretty terrible, and it happens a bunch of the time if you're not careful. And even when you are careful, if you just literally make a miscount by 1 or even a misestimation by 1, guess what? Your entire, iron collection becomes pointless. I'm going in. Okay, please don't fill that back in. We're good. We're good. And yeah, even as I mentioned that it's a problem that I potentially sometimes have, I somehow managed to make it anyway. How is that a thing that's a thing? I don't actually know. Oh god, is this safe? Let's stand in the middle of the lava and let's pick up lava. This seems like a great idea that cannot have any downsides. So you see, now we know we can pick up 2 more buckets of lava. One there, and the 3rd bucket, if we pick it up, would go on the ground. So there you go. The 4th bucket would go on the ground. So there you go, you can see. Very dangerous place if we're going to bucket lava, and that's the thing that happens there. But yeah, there's definitely a big uptick in the idea that I guess videos should be these super smooth down kind of things. Like, you should just be the purest of the pure and the most cut, because I guess high energy is a thing that's hard to disagree with. On the internet, high energy is always going to be better than low energy, because who goes on the internet when you're going somewhere to relax, you want to see someone else doing the non-relaxing things, right? That's always been my theory, at least. But yeah, in today's video, we're going to be showing you some of that stuff, such as now, we've filled up our entire thing, except we've got some spare spots, so I don't know what we'll do about this. I guess we'll throw away. We can just put the boat down in the Nether, honestly. Who doesn't need a boat to go on the lava? That's right. That's my next level strategy to save stuff like this. But yeah, we're gonna start getting some real shulker boxes going through, so we can really fill these with lava and really get stuff going down. But that's one of the tasks I have to do off camera all the time, and that you'll never really see done in a video itself, unless it's background gameplay maybe. Because again, was that so interesting to see? I think that was a pretty high stakes version of it, right? I lost some lava buckets entirely, but at the same time, even though that was pretty high stakes, was it really that big of a thing? You might say not really actually. It's a part of Minecraft, it's a part of the game we all love and enjoy, but it's not the part that makes the videos, because it's hard to be high stakes and exciting. There wasn't really a risk besides, I guess when I fell in the lava, that was arguably quite a big risk actually. And now I'm going to be walking back with all of these lava buckets over to the furnace room. I'm going to light the furnace up, but there's no risk on the way there. This whole area is lit up because one of the cool things about Minecraft is you can kind of master the game, and you can make certain tasks deliberately less, risky, which makes them, again, less You know, it's a cool thing to do while you're doing it, but once you've done it, you remove that risk aspect, which makes it, to some people, less fun to watch. And that's why mundane activity number 2 is walking around your Minecraft world. If you've got roads, and you've got well-lit roads, and even if you don't, if it's daytime, just going between places in the overworld, above ground, there is very little risk of something happening. A creeper sometimes can walk around and do things like this creeper hole over here, that creeper hole over there. There's so many of them in the world that I need to fix, and we totally will. Actually, mundane task number 3 sounds like it's sorted, right? Because as soon as we grabbed this and we throw all the lava buckets into the respective furnaces, because better believe we need to get all these machines going, you know, right up to thing right now. But like, yeah, it's interesting because as well as filling up lava buckets and things like that, there are other things I need to do between videos, such as fixing things that are just a pain that happen in a video that I don't really want to fix, but I know that because this world, you know, like, actually I think most people would fix it for themselves, like they'd be annoyed, but the only thing that annoys me is like, oh, people are going to be annoyed if I don't fix this thing, and that is actually the driving force behind me being like, you know what, I guess we're going to go ahead and fix things. Also, yeah, we have a lot of furnaces, smelting a lot of things we need for future videos. You'll see those sometime. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of this Let's Play, right? The mundane activities of things like, oh, yeah, do you see earlier we have a stack of stone and we have some dirt? I reckon in one of these chests we have a bunch more dirt. In fact, I don't even reckon I know where the shulker boxes are, because as part of the Torch Desert project, which, you know, you can have your own opinions on whether this was necessary or not. But as part of this whole project, I actually removed a lot of dirt, and all of that is lying around in some shulker boxes just over here. There we go. So grab some dirt, and now we can start patching in some holes much, much easier. But yeah, there's a reason certain tasks in Minecraft are a bit more... Okay, let's correct this torch right here. We gotta do this as we go past them. The reason certain tasks in Minecraft are more mundane or less interesting or less video-worthy than others honestly does come down to the fact that the reason video games are interesting to watch, in my opinion, besides sometimes the personality of the person watching, maybe you could say that here, that the only thing sustaining literally a video of me doing the most boring task possible is that maybe you like something about the way, you know, I commentate on the videos, or maybe what it is to you, if this is not the correct way to fix this, but you know, it's close enough for now. But yeah, maybe that is enough for you to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I want to hear Toycat's thoughts on mundanity versus routine, you know, like, or, you know, routine versus excitement, spontaneity versus routine, or the difference between something being mundane or something being, you know, like a pleasurable activity. Because there are lots of things you do every single day. Oh, that is new. I have not seen that icon be so big and pink before. But, I wonder how these things happen sometimes. But, yeah, there are some very interesting reasons why things can become not mundane, and I want to talk about what some of those are, because I think it's important to work out what those moments are in your real life. You know, what moments in your real life are like me patching up this creeper hole right here, where it's just like, man, I have so much I need to fix, so many pieces of carpet that have to be replaced, so many like things I have to do just to go back to normal. Makes me feel bad, makes me wish I didn't have to do it, and that's why I'm recording it, so you have to suffer with me right now, because high quality things we do of Toycat. But, yeah, I want to talk about them just a little bit because I think that'd be fun. Also, that dirt block does not get placed up because of the Elder Guardian, which we have nearby. Which, whole other side project thing again. But yeah, let's focus on at least some of that, shall we? Because, like, sometimes, we got another creeper hole to fill, by the way. So task number 3, still in effect because there's a lot of this going on. But yeah, sometimes it feels like what life really is seeking routines that you can exist on. I think, you know, the whole concept of a comfort zone is something that's always interested me, because isn't a comfort zone what we all want, fundamentally, on some level? Also, there are a lot of explosions here, okay? There's a lot of things that have to be patched up. And apparently there's a block missing right here. I have to replace it. Oh my god, okay, it was a zombie, not a creeper. But, yeah, there's, the whole kind of point of life on one level is seeking a comfort zone, seeking a routine that you are comfortable with. But yeah, at the same time, one of our favorite things is like finding new things to do. You know, finding, you know, something new that's also great is something everyone can agree is like, oh yeah, that's fun, that's great. I would love to find my new favorite food. I would love to find, I love traveling to new cities, right? Going to places that are deliberately unfamiliar and to some extent deliberately harsh on the senses. You can say that's a thing some people enjoy. If you think about, to go deeper a level, why do people, like, I know what's the worst thing? People ingest poison all the time, right? Like alcohol or any other drugs. Literally, you're poisoning yourself a little bit just because it's a new experience. So new experiences are super desirable at the same time that also we hate new experiences and we just want to have familiarity and comfort. And the easy way to look at it is to say, oh yeah, well, there's some people who like familiarity and comfort, and there are some people who like not that. They love when you have, a world that is perfectly the same all the time. And, some people like that to an obsessive level. Obsessive, compulsive, you could say, is the level they like that to. And some people are the opposite. But I really think everyone actually has, on some level, both parts of this inside of them. Again, there's so many parts of human... Again, it's because people like to simplify. When it comes to other people, you don't want to know them as well as you need to know yourself. Like, you know a lot of things about yourself, your favorite 10 foods, your favorite place in the world. You know lots of things about you, but not many people know a similar amount about you, right? That's a sad but true fact about the world, is that very few people will ever know you anywhere near as well as you know you. But out of those things you know about you, you know about yourself as a complex character. You did some bad things, but you know the reasons behind those bad things, etc., etc., right? Like, there are lots of things that make a person a person. Also, I would say we're now pretty much finished on this task. So what we're going to do now, because my creeper holes are covered up to the most part, like, there are more creeper-ish holes I could fill in. Like, this place looks like a mess, but it's kind of a natural mess. And natural messes are okay, which is how you might feel about some of the mistakes you've made in your past, right? You might say, oh, well, I made a mistake, sure. But who hasn't made a mistake at some point? And also, it was pretty justified. That person did something which I thought, justified me doing something horrific to them. Again, most people do terrible things and they justify them. But when something terrible's happened to them by someone else, it's like, no, this person was a monster. They did a terrible thing, and, that messed me up for this reason. And obviously, the obvious exceptions to that is, like, if your parents do something bad, like, that's kind of like messed up because they're your one authority figure as well as a source of, like, love and friendship or whatever else. But when it comes to the outside world, you generally think of other people as bad when they do something bad to you. And you generally think of other people as good when they do something good. And that's also how you simplify personalities. You look at other people and you say, oh, you like things comfortable. And you look at some people and you go, oh, you like exploring new things. Like, you might look at me and say, oh yeah, you travel so much. So clearly you must love adventure and new experiences. But is that necessarily true? Also, task number 4 today on this long cut, no non-stop let's play, is we're going to chop down some trees. Because I have a tree farm that literally, like, it's just not great gameplay on 2 levels. One is because, it's just a tree farm. I'm not actually making progress. I'm just chopping down trees, then replanting them because I need a lot of wood. And the second reason is because... especially with a controller, there's something irking about looking down than looking up. Because controller sensitivity, I think it's more left and right than it is up and down. That's my observation. I could be wrong on that one. I haven't thought about it too much. But it looks that way in gameplay if it's not true. And that's one of the reasons why it's terrible. But you're going to watch it anyway. Because this whole video is about the process of mundanity and the fact that we like it, but we want to have it in new and exciting ways. Which, again, that's the complexity of the thing, right? Like, you can look at something, easily define it as one thing, but also I think everyone is both a little bit wants a comfort zone, and everyone also wants something that's familiar and the same. The reason we live in the same houses, most of us anyway, is because everyone needs, like, a routine in the morning, a routine of sleep if nothing else. There are very few people who say, you know what, my own bed sucks. No, people say, I can't wait to be sleeping back in my own bed, no matter how much you enjoy sleeping in other people's or other businesses' beds. And, yeah, to me that proves on the fundamental level that, yeah, everyone has this big connection that keeps those two things together. And I think the thing that is what it is that everyone wants to find a routine of some form, but some people are just unhappier with some than others. Some people might be amazingly happy with everything as it is right now. Like, I would say, the way I would group people to be simplifying, again, because you have to simplify, even though it's not ideal to actually get a good picture of the world, but to simplify the types of people down into just 2 categories, I'd be like, there are people who are happy with the world, and there are people who aren't happy with the world, who see the world as like a flawed thing that fundamentally needs to be improved on some level. And I think you can look at that not on just the world level, but on the you level. Like, why why are there all these great things and why am I not experiencing them? Clearly, I've got to work on it until that happens. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I found very recently, you know, if you felt like the videos recently have been not samey, because I don't think anything on my channel is ever the same. But if you think the video is like, oh, I'm starting to spot a pattern, that might be part of something that's happened with me on a work level. Because I didn't realize until I think I watched a YouTube video and someone said it, and I was like, yeah, of course. Comfort zones totally apply to certain forms of work. And I think the reason it is because, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't tell you which way is cause and which way is effect. But think about how school works. The thing that every human being does for 18 years of their life, with very few exceptions. Maybe 16 years if you're lucky. But like, you go to a place every day and you have certain outputs that are expected. If you pass those outputs, then they shower you with good information. And if you fail those outputs, no matter how much you improved as a person, no matter how much you might have done something great that day, it doesn't matter because you failed overall. School is a a lot of people just want to hear that school's bad, and like obviously there are lots of benefits of it, or or it wouldn't exist. But also at the same time, it is this very one-dimensional concept of like, we're gonna make a routine for everyone, and let's see if it works for you too. And I think that is the fundamental thing that keeps people together. Everyone wants to find a routine, but they want to find a better, they want to find a comfort zone that's bigger and better, or is some amount of desirable to them. And some people get complacent at a certain age. Some people wait till they're much older. But everyone eventually finds their perfect little routine. And even if parts of that routine involve leaving that routine, that's still a thing that they find. And that might sound like a lot crazy, because I said the word routine too many times. And if you say a word too many times, you lose the meaning. It just becomes syllables. And in that case, I said poutine, but with an R. Like Vladimir Routine, like there you go. Now I made a double pun. I've confused everyone. And we can talk about stupid tasks, because the one cool thing to me, because it's sometimes scary, the idea that like everyone's changing all the time. Like, here's a crisis for you. Every single person you know, even the people you like the best, they're changing every single day. And most days, they wake up and they change in a way where hopefully you still like them and they still like you. And, you've got the same personalities. But the reason why every big movie has a scene where it's like, you changed, man, or like, you're not the same as you used to be, is because that's fundamentally what's happening to everyone. Everyone is trying to work on that. They're trying to throw away stupid tasks they don't need or anymore, or this or that. And sometimes those stupid tasks include people. And I think that's always a hard thing to hear. But I think it's an important thing to think about too, that like, friendship is not this static, locked in place thing. Every single friendship that you have is kind of an evolving thing. Again, as soon as you start to think that you've conquered a friendship, and you're like, this is now locked down. You don't think, I don't need to change anything anymore. I don't need to improve or look out for them because they're a friend now. That's all sorted. As soon as you start to think like that, I think that is when all of a sudden things start to go downhill quite fast. Because again, I mean, it's only a matter of time until one of you changes away from that. So yeah, every single friend you ever have will eventually find you less interesting. And that's why it's rare and worth celebrating when you see like, I don't know, friends, people who have been, like close for 60 years, whether that means like, I don't know, like a couple that have been together since high school, or like, friends who have been, best friends since childhood, where it's like, hey, isn't that cool? Isn't that wonderful that all these years later they tried? But it's not because they just magically happened to stay in touch. It takes some effort. And I always like changing it around that way, because as I've said before in these videos, I think wanting to control the world is a thing. Not control. Yeah, like having, like it's a common, not disorder, but like a dysfunctional way of seeing things, is like, you need to be in control of everything. Control freaks. Let's simplify people down to one person at one dimension. Even though I don't think I'm a control freak, maybe if I like control over things, I am one. Let's simplify down. Let's just say that I am, even though I don't agree with that term. So, maybe, like that's just me trying to rationalize the world around those objectives. Or maybe that's the way it really is. Again, because everything is complex and multidimensional. And because the fun thing is about humans is that we manage to make a world so complex that we can't understand it ourselves. I've always loved that as a fact. Like, why are you watching a person doing 10 different mundane tasks in Minecraft? What is the value add from this to you? There's something. I mean, you're still watching, almost 20 minutes in. There's something about this here, but can you describe it? Can you explain exactly why? Maybe not, If someone had never watched a YouTube video before, or played a video game, let's say, to be even more difficult here, how would you explain what you're doing right now with your time? And it's like, I don't really know. And the same in reverse, right? If someone... I'm actually about to go, as of this video going live, I probably just finished an interview, like a background check with the US government, where they basically get to root around my entire life. And one of the inevitable questions I have with every governmental employee is like, so what do you do? And it's like, you don't want to know the answer to this one. And they're like, oh, so, you know, now I really need to know the answer. I don't actually say it that way, but... And one of the things that comes up is like, so... You play video games. That's wacky. I didn't know people could make a living there. And I'm like, no, there's 4 more steps of complexity here. Like, the way I actually say it is you gotta go through layers. This is how you explain what you do. It's like, I am self-employed. Oh, okay then. Thank God I don't have to go anymore. Nope, that's not good enough. What are you self-employed doing? I make videos. What type of videos? Oh, no, why'd you have to do this? It's YouTube videos. That's how, you know, the business works, etc., etc. And then, you know, like, heaven forbid they ask even more questions. It's like, you know, you should have just stopped asking, man. And then it's like, well, I play video games, and then I show people me playing video games. And sometimes people like to watch it, and it's like, oh, what game? Minecraft. So you make tutorials, and it's like, no, don't make me explain that I make videos explaining the nature and the reality of life, communism, and the universe. You know, these are just things I don't want to have to do for someone, and they're things that in an ideal world I wouldn't have to do. But yeah, I'm about to finish doing that, and it proves that even the thing I do in most of my days every day, you know, I stream, I make videos, like this is a thing I love, I enjoy, and it's something I put a lot of time into. Sometimes too much time, sometimes too little time. Maybe you've missed me, maybe you've missed the fact that I haven't been streaming for the last week as of this video going live, and you think, no, Toycat, you don't put enough in. You know, I'm sorry, respect your opinion on that one. But yeah, so we've chopped down a bunch of trees now. We got literally 4 stacks. We need about 40, so I need to do that for 10 times as long for this to work. Every single... like day of smelting, I need to refuel those lava buckets. The walking has to be done non-stop. And here's the crazy bit. So remember those chests from earlier? I'm gonna go back to them now. I'll fly back. You know, we'll treat ourselves because you know the mundane task of walking, we've done it once already, so we can treat ourselves to the much more fun task of flying over there. But yeah, okay, let's slide in here. So yeah, we're gonna throw, first of all, just get our wood in there, because we need, I want to have a lot of charcoal for future torch projects, even though we're pretty much finished now. And then let's start picking up our shulker boxes that are full, because we need to take those with us. Or let's move our shulker stuff around so that we make full boxes, perhaps. That could be a clever also thing we could do. So yeah, we'll put the sticks in there because we need those for other things, and then we'll put the saplings in here, and then we'll take this around with us. Sorted. But yeah, so we have to take a bunch of shulker boxes now. So this is mundane task number 5. Storage sorting. Oh, this is going to be the best one too, because in Minecraft, there's a lot of things you need to move around to a lot of places, especially if, maybe like me, you make some videos. So one of the parts of that is that, oh man, this is gonna be a real hassle too. One of the parts of that is that, you know, sometimes you just leave stuff lying around because it's the easiest way for a video to kind of get done that way. But it also creates this huge kind of liability. Oh, there's jungle logs in here. I should be smelting this really instead of, well, you know what, that makes my job a little bit easier for covering this in torches, which is in the past but also the future because of how videos work. You know, videos are confusing. So is time. Does anyone understand time? Humans invented time. It still catches us off guard all the time, right? All the time. I'm funny and hilarious. But no, it is a fact that we invented time. Like time did not exist before humans, or at least the way we measure it. You know, it's humanity's greatest invention, you could say. And okay, we're good with this now. Now we're gonna leave the desert. We're going to try and grab any other shulker boxes that are just lying around. And then we're going to go take them back and sort them so we can empty them and we can bring them back to finish the rest of this dirt. Because, like, there is a lot of other bits of dirt that we have to get rid of. It's a whole thing. And we need dirt anyway for the big project. Oh, which can be mundane task number 6 when we get there. Because, you know, 10 mundane tasks. It's the point of this video, probably. If we make it to 10. Maybe it's too mundane to continue after a certain point. Who knows for sure? I don't know. That's all I know. Actually, what we can do, because we've got some space anyway, we've got a Silk Touch pickaxe, let's change up mundane task number 5. Let's midway through insert a boring Minecraft task into a boring Minecraft task. And let's do one of the things I need to do every now and then, which is mining this tunnel out a little bit. Because, yeah, I thought this would be a way bigger thing than it ever turned out to be. There are some projects I just start thinking like, oh, this will turn into something. This is one of those, and spoiler alert, it did not turn into something. It just got very confusing, because I wanted to hollow out this whole kind of mountain thing, but it didn't really... I don't know, it didn't really go perfect for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to level out some of the ceiling, I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably the best. Like, let's try and... We'll make like a straight line going through here. We'll get covered in gravel every now and then, but that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's an acceptable risk of doing business. And then we can talk about the fact that, yeah, I think, so recently I found myself in a really good routine. I'm actually, you know, recently in terms of chronologically, I've just broken that routine. I've gone to America. I wrecked my sleep schedule in my life, and I'm about to go do it again. So, oh, okay, I can see why I can't go a block higher than this now, apparently. But yeah, there's, you know, chronologically speaking, I've just wrecked my sleep schedule. But on every other level, what I actually just did is you know, like yeah, in terms of like right now, I've just got myself into a really good place where it's like I enjoy waking up every day. Maybe that's something. You know, that's something I guess I always try to have. But recently it's been like, oh yeah, I'm even hyped to wake up early, which is I think the sign that like you really, really enjoy something, right? Like waking up early will drain you after a certain amount of time. Which is why you should never sign up to a job with early hours unless you're really sure you can find ways to build your passion forever. Pro tips of ToyCat right here. But yeah, there's a rather interesting tidbit to me in that waking up early is so much easier when you care about a thing, because like maybe this is like some weird sign of depression or something, but like sleep is so important, so good, so valuable. It's the most fundamental thing in humans' lives, and I think it's why we need a routine at all, right? If you sleep irregularly, you get worse sleep. It makes you a worse functioning person. If you sleep regularly, like there's one really easy tip that can make so much of your life better. Just get good sleep. Just try even, you know, like if you you know, if you're on your phone before you sleep for hours, if you wake up and immediately go on your phone, just don't do that. Practice some good sleep hygiene, you know? Go to sleep at the same-ish time every night. Like, try and make that a thing in your life. Just doing, like, some simple things can really, really help out so much about your life. And, you know, I get that some portion of you aren't going to do it. You're going to listen to that and be like, well, who really knows or cares? But some portion of you will, and some portion of you will have a much better sleeping routine as a result of just some random advice from a random stranger on the internet. So, what I'm saying here is now I can update my resume to the Border Guard and say, really, you know, I help people get better sleep on the internet. And I wouldn't even be lying, although it would still probably count as a lie and I'd get like extra questions as a result. So I'm not actually going to say that, but it's a fun fantasy, right? Kind of like how sleeping is a fun fantasy for the mind. Sleeping really interests me because we do it every day and we don't really know why, but also it's the most fundamental building block in it's the most fundamental building block of a day, right? That's why I think we have a routine system built around it. Because fundamentally, humans are animals, and animals need habits and cultures to get things done. It's really, really, really easy. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that you know, it's not about motivation. Motivation seems like a big thing. I was just saying earlier, like, if you're motivated to do your job, you'll find it easier to do your job. If you hate your job and you hate everything in your life, waking up's real hard because you have to go from nothing to bad. But the thing that can encourage you to do bad things, because there's lots of bad things you need to do to yourself. I'm not saying like, hey, make sure that you, you know, think negative thoughts about how everyone around you doesn't really like you and all your friendships are slowly withering away every day that you don't look after them. Although, you know, maybe think that too. There's a little bit of truth to it, as sad as it is. But the real... oh, there we go. Another creeper explosion to patch in. Look how exciting my... Oh, and there's a zombie pigman because of charged tridents. Or yeah, like I used the trident with whatever that enchantment's called. Channeling, maybe? And then I got me a zombie pigman. How fun. But yeah, also, did I just do that? I managed to place a block sideways. Is that a new feature? Or did it, like... Huh, interesting. I wonder how I did that. But anyway, staying on point, because you know I do that so well otherwise. Also, let's just patch this in and then put a torch in there later. Save some dirt, because I need that for my next mundane activity. But, yeah, basically, every person thinks motivation. Like, one of the big things society sells is everything's about motivation. Get motivated to do a thing. And I think motivation is actually really cool. It's a good way, it's a good thing for ideas, I'd say, to start new things. But habits and discipline are the things that make you make you the things that some people want to be. You know, if let's say you really want to be a really well exercised person, you think to yourself, man, if only I could look like those other people who look better than me because they do things with their body that takes time and effort. You can do those things as well, you know. Whether we're talking about, I don't know, like exercise or whatever form of grooming or self-care routine, you can do good things for yourself, and it seems hard in the moment. But then once you build it as a thing you just always do, it's not hard anymore because it's just like, oh yeah, this is what I've got to do. When I wake up, what I do is I go straight into the shower. I don't even think about showering. I just hop straight over there. The first task in my day is the shower. If I don't go to the shower, then, you know, my life isn't harder, I wouldn't say, but like it's it's a break in the, I have to break discipline, you know, like discipline is telling me to do it, not motivation. I'm not motivated to shower every day. I'm quite the opposite some days, in fact. But that is kind of the beauty of what I'm talking about right here, that there are so many tasks there are so many tasks that you can kind of accomplish in that way without wanting to do them, but rather because you need to do them. And that sounds like a really silly distinction to make. And that's why I would say people who live their life by motivation are very privileged individuals. Privileged in the sense that, like, fortunate, not like, oh, privilege. But, mundane task. I can finish the... I'm going to have to sort out my inventory first. But I need to fix the ceiling of this. It's been forever, and I thought I did it. And then I flew past it recently, and I was like, huh, I guess I didn't do it. So we can finish that as well. Again, finishing a build might actually have some satisfaction. Maybe it's not mundane. That's for you in the comments to decide. So yeah, we've gone through 5 tasks already because of that little tunnel we dug out a little bit to get some more blocks. Now, let's move on to task number 6, which is preceded by going to sleep a little bit. Because who doesn't love a good Minecraft now? But yeah, so like, I think one of the most important things right now is like, if there's a thing you want to do in your life that you're not doing because you're watching a Minecraft video instead, which, you know, maybe these are an important part of your life. Maybe you only watch these because of discipline. Maybe they all suck, but you're just like, sometimes they're good though, and it's worth it. It's worth persevering through those. And if so, you know, bad decision. These videos only get worse from here. Checkmate. But no, what it really is to me, so we're going to take out the sand from this and put it in here, and I'll put the dirt. Actually, wait, we can just put the dirt straight into here, because we need a shulker box full of dirt anyway. Then we can take out the gravel and the sand, and put those into their respective chests. Look at me, I'm so organized. And this is, by the way, also look at me, because this is such a dull task, which is why you never see it in videos. It's always cut out videos, because, like, how can you make it exciting? Am I going to put the sand here, or over here? I just don't really know, you know, like sandstone over there. Oh, no way. Oh, I put the cut sandstone in the right place. You know, you can't be a fake over-the-top emotions that hopefully make people more likely to engage with and subscribe to your stuff. Because most people know, or I hope most people know, that chest sorting isn't exciting to anyone. And therefore, when it's exciting to you, it comes, oh. There's a reason we removed this block. Let's throw that in there. So we've got some... Actually, we're going to have to deal with this later, but we'll... take the dirt not in a shulker box for now. No, wait, we're gonna, again, staying on one task at a time, which is hard when you're in a chest room. All the possibilities of my Minecraft world open up when I'm in here. It's kind of cool, like, I could build with any of these resources if I wanted to. Any of them whatsoever. And I'm gonna choose to move on from chest sorting, my favorite 6th activity, over to my 7th favorite over here. Because you know what I love? I love placing endstone bricks down. I love it so much. So what am I going to do? I'm going to place a bunch of endstone. And while we talk about endstone, let's talk about the end stone of real life. No, I'm not going to talk about death in the universe and stuff. As much as that is fun, as much as I'm sure people would also probably enjoy that. Oh, I do need to be around here anyway, because I also, I need these villagers to breed and make more jungle villagers that don't get killed. Which means I probably need torches, actually. So I wish I had some of those. Yeah, because I want to light this place up before... Oh, you know, it's probably lit up enough. Zombies can't spawn on ice anyway, right? That's potentially true. So let's fly... Okay, messed that one up. Let's fly to the top. And let's see if this is enough endstone to finish it. And if it's not, there's another shulker box here. Yeah, which is plenty full. So, yeah, I really want to drive home the message. And I'm going to do it over and over again by saying discipline, not motivation. And I'm going to throw that in here a few more times because there's an interesting fact that people absorb information better when it fits certain rhetoric themes, which is why things always come in free. It's like, what do we need to do? We need to, you know, fix this N-cube. We need to place some dirt in our farm, and then we need to take the shulker boxes home. Sounds way better than if you pair things by 4. Like, what do we need? We need mutton, fireworks, endstone, and an axe. Like, the rule of threes, something about humans and 3, just, it rhetorically fits in, again, at least in English. Which is why you always list things in threes. Something, something, and something. You know, that's, for whatever reason, that's a thing that's true. Also, what is, you know, like, a lot of rhetoric devices, asking questions when they're not really questions. Rhetorical questions, I believe they're usually called. Those are usually pretty effective. Because people hear them and they're like, ooh, I have to work out the... You know, intuitively, when you hear a question, you try to work out the answer. And then if something can trick you into thinking like that, they've basically gone to you to think about their product already, or whatever. No, not their product necessarily, but whatever. Let's say I want you to vote for the Yellow Party in America. You know, it's a party no one's thinking about voting for right now, so I probably at least, I don't know your plans or not, but I could be like, oh yeah, think about it. Do you really want another what, blue or another red? Nah, what you want is you need a mix. Actually, vote for the Purple Party. Yeah, I want to... You ever think to yourself when you're looking at those blue-red maps, why don't we have an in-between color? Why don't we have someone for some... You know, for the person who doesn't like primary colors, vote purple. And you're like, yeah, why don't we? And obviously most of you can then correct that with like, well, actually, I care a lot more about whichever individual thing. But as a result, you know, a part of you wants to vote purple now, right? There is a real Purple Party in America. They did really well in like 16 years ago. No, wait, 19 years ago now. They came third with like 20% of the vote. So, you know, maybe we could start a revolution, make it happen again. Am I right? So, no, more seriously though, there are certain rhetoric devices that work better than others. And one of those is the rule of 3, which is why you'll always hear people talk in threes. And I don't know if it's beautiful or the worst that we have like certain rules even built into our language. Because I've always liked the idea that language is this like free expression tool. You can say whatever combination of words you like, and as long as someone wants to listen, it's fine, right? Like, Jeeble Heeble, floor, timeline, stone. You know, that is a sentence. You did just listen to it. But you are less engaged with video right now. You are like, man, what is Toycat doing? And you know, what am I doing? I'm an insane person talking to myself while playing a video game. This is only okay because you're watching it, right? This is only a thing you can enjoy because you've chilled out to a sufficient degree where just a guy talking about things he finds passionate is a thing you find enjoyable. But what if I find out this video wasn't recording the whole time? I just checked it. Well, it is. That's good. But like, if this video wasn't recording the whole time, was I just an insane person speaking myself? What matters more? The intention behind an action or the actual effect of the action? This is one of humanity's like greatest questions we don't really know the answer to because it creates ethical dilemmas no matter which way you see it. Because the truth is, a little bit of both. You know what? We'll try not to punish you for one of those two types, but it doesn't mean you're not partially to blame. Like, hey, if you ever are, let's come up with an example. If you ever are caught near a crime scene where someone died, let's say you are at the base of the tower. If you leave work because you get a phone call, and then it's 9/11 and you work in one of the towers. Even though you went through a terrible thing, just by being there, just by circumstance, you go through a whole awful set of events where you're going to be questioned and all these sorts of things. And that's because we kind of just agree, like, hey, your rights as an individual, they're pretty important until they're not. Until the moment where we decide that the rights of the collective rule it. And I don't think that's a healthy thing overall. And I used to always hear it when I was younger, like, oh, you know, but like people would always say things like, why can we do, you know, why is it why can we ruin someone's life to get so much out of them? And it seems like, especially when you're maybe it's when you are in a collective system like school, that it makes more sense to, like, oh yeah, one person suffers, but at least everyone gets out of here. Because the worst thing to me was always like, oh, well, we can't work out who did it, so everyone, you know, like, actually, yeah, no, actually, I'm gonna reverse my opinion on this one, because I just realized that has actually happened to me before, where, like, by circumstance, I've gone through a lot of nonsense because someone said something. Like, someone once said, like, oh, there was a fire alarm pulled. Someone just made up that I did it. I was nowhere near anything like that. Someone made up that, like, me and a friend did it, and I was with the friend, and I know that he did not. And in fact, I even know the person who made it up, because he was in a phase where he was just like, I can say and do anything. So, like, as a result, I went through a lot of stuff of, like, did you pull the fire alarm? You know how, like, illegal that is, and you know how, like, the fire brigade came here. They probably couldn't attend a house fire, and that, you know, lots of people died because of you, Andrew. So just admit it, and it'll be fine. And first of all, I've always hated that, like, we're gonna tell you why what you did is terrible, then we're gonna say, just admit it, it'll be fine, and then lying about that, like, oh, it's by fine, what I really mean is, like, I will have, you know, solved the case and people will stop bothering me, but you're going to be expelled from the school, or whatever it might have been. Again, I assure you, I've never pulled a fire alarm, but I've always wanted to. And it makes me sad that I've gone through all the, like, hassle of having done that without actually having the reward of, like, ooh, what does it feel like? Is it good? Is that a good feeling? Is that something I want more of, or is it not? Maybe it's honestly just, like, because there's also been a situation, like, on trains, if you don't live in a public transit city, there are always emergency brakes or emergency door opens on trains. I was on a train recently where the door didn't open. The doors just they stayed shut. They, instead of opening, they didn't open. It was really strange in my opinion. But yeah, because the doors just didn't open up, like, I couldn't get off at my stop. The next stop was like 25 miles away or something, and it was past midnight, so, and this was the last train, so it's like, there aren't trains going back the other way until 4 a.m, and also, the train company had messed me up, and it was a whole thing, and the whole time, everyone's, like, looking at the emergency door button, and no one wants to pull it, because they've been too terrified this whole time. They're like, it's got a sign saying £500 fine, or, like, penalty for misuse, or something like that. And everyone's like, well, is this correct use? I mean, we need to get off at our station, right? I mean, they can't just not open the doors at the station. But believe me and you, they did. Believe me, you. Yeah, I guess it is believe me, you, not believe me and you. Although, here's another fun thing. I find this just hilarious as, like, a reminder that humans are remarkably bad at leadership during times without defined leadership. This is why, I guess, countries need, like, a defined top guy to speak to. That's why even, like, Switzerland, which has a 7-person, like, rotating presidency, like, they actually have 7 co-leaders. It's really weird. So, look up Switzerland sometimes. Their leadership system makes no sense if you're used to things existing normally. But yeah, so basically, having, like, a defined person to go to is something a lot of people find rather useful. And when you're in a new situation, no one's the defined leader. A drunk person starts being, like, you know, harassing the staff, and it's like, we're not going to take them as our representative, are we? And it's like, okay, kind of not. And yeah, so, like, as a result, no one is in charge of the situation. It's just a rabble of people, all who vaguely want the same thing. Okay, creepers are apparently spawning up here now. You know, let's lie down, let's find a bed, and let's deal with it there. So yeah, we pretty much finished this now. However, because this is a mundane task, you might think, it's finished, now we're done, Toy Cat. But I kind of want to leave those holes in the ceiling, because actually, there is a beauty to them, right? A little bit of a beauty. Although I'll fix those holes, because they're not beautiful. No offense, some holes are more beautiful than others. That is something you can quote me on. And, yeah, we can now take this shulker box, make it my own. And then we can also fly down with this shulker box, probably. Or, we've got to do something. No, we'll leave it up here for now. Whatever. It's fine, I'm sure. So, yeah, nice and easy. Fill in these gaps. And now, we have ourselves a perfect ceiling for the end. It's just cube stone thing. Again, I need to stay around here. Specifically, because of the fact that I need these villagers to breed. And I want to take their villager babies somewhere. But I don't know how to make them breed more, because all of their children died. It was tragic, whatever. This is a jungle biome, so if they breed, they will breed better children. But I just don't know how to make them do that. So I'm going to go AFK here for a bit. But even though that's a mundane task, it's not really mundane as much as it's AFK. AFK is arguably less mundane than what we're about to do. Because although task number 6 here, you know, might have seemed like, wow, we just placed endstone. We achieved something at the end. And we did something. It took physical effort, which is why it's worse than nothing. Inaction is the easiest human behavior, which is exactly the reason why the world is so complex, because systems have to be built around people systems need to be built so that people feel like they need to do something, but also so we're covered in the situation that people do nothing, which is most people's default reaction to most problems of most types. As sad as that, you know, perhaps is. So yeah, with that said, let's now head over to the wheat farm. We're gonna fill up our inventory with dirt. We usually use shulker boxes, but like for this time, it's a simple thing. This is the task I know I do so much for so many background gameplays. And you know what, you're gonna have to ask, actually, I was gonna say, I'm gonna have to ask you to forgive me. No, actually, I'm not gonna ask you to forgive me. How about you ask me, I'll ask you to forgive yourself. How about you ask me to forgive you for not liking this video, yeah, am I right? Because if you like this video, it boosts my engagement statistics very slightly, and that might be good in YouTube 2019. We genuinely don't know, like, because of the algorithm being a... Like, you might think this is silly, but the YouTube algorithm is not known even to the people who make it, because it's machine learning. It's all, you know, code that learns from previous bits of code. And one of the results of that is even, you know, like there is potential, they do know enough about it. But I think most YouTubers who have to make videos, who have an economic incentive, you know, like myself, if this video does poorly, which it will because it's me doing stupid activities in Minecraft, but if this video does poorly, then I am economically incentivized to hope that the next video does well. That, you know, Toycat places torches in a desert for 2 hours. Oh, that's another terrible video. I'm forced to hope that my new vision for Minecraft's timeline video, which is, I don't know if that's even coming out or made, or if I decided against making it, I have to hope that's a thing that people enjoy, that tickles people's fancy who don't know who I am, so that the people who do know who I am can watch the video. It's complex, it's weird, okay? But yeah, mundane task number 7 at this point. I might have lost track. I guess 6 would have been shulkers, so 7 would have been endstone. So this is mundane task number 8. Placing down dirt, which I've done for so long, so much of the time. But we're getting close to the top, you know? Like, we might just need another big push. Like, one big endless Let's Play episode is maybe all it takes. Although the amount of dirt we've used on this is a little bit silly. But you know what? Sometimes you've got to do silly projects if you want to have silly results. Those are just the facts of life. As sad or as happy as you choose them to be. So, yeah, speaking about sad and happy, I think what we're going to do today is we're going to continuously wrap around the same topics, but from different angles. Because I think one of the things that makes you want to throw away the routine in your life is if it makes you sad. And maybe some people are just prone to, like, not regional. What's regional, but with time? Regular? Yeah, regular, like, throws of, not sadness, but, like, dissatisfaction. To keep things simple. So, like, when you go for a time of dissatisfaction, you're like, what can I change about my life? And having something consistent in your life that's always there. That's why I think even the most obsessive and even the most adventurous of people usually do better with, like, a long-term friend or partner or something along those lines. That's my experience. Also, did you see how, like, I was climbing the blocks there? It was really, really weird. But, yeah, so, even, like, I think having a consistent in your life is really good. But also, I feel like everyone wants... When something goes bad, you throw away everything and then you try to rebuild it. I've said this before, I went for a really sad phase very recently. It was actually related to the breakup that people only knew about long after it got better. So it was weird. I had a lot of, like, support from people after I didn't need it, which... Is that a good thing? Should I feel good about that? I guess so, maybe. But, yeah, yeah, basically, one of the things that you do when you go through something bad is you just try and work out what can be made better. What do I need to throw away? And there are so many stupid tasks that I'm glad I get to throw away. Like, this sounds stupid. I swear it's not responsible because I'm finally, you know, there's finally a cleaning person. Basically, let me share this with you. This is one of those things that people are just gonna hate because whenever you do anything that even implies that money is not an infinite yet infinitely finite resource, it doesn't come across well. But basically, the amount that a cleaner costs in my area is less than the amount I make doing my favorite thing in the world, or my favorite thing that can be vaguely described as work, let's call it. And even then, I don't know. Like, you know, for instance, you know, do I not get more than £12 in stream tips in an hour? Slightly more most hours. So as a result of that, which is possible because of all of you, thank you for allowing me to hire a cleaner. Or if you don't like that I got a cleaner, guess what? You did it with your support of my channel. Yeah, sucks to be you, doesn't it? But like, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, why was I doing this myself the whole time? I hated it so much, and I was doing a bad job, and I was doing it so infrequently, I might as well have not been doing it because of the amount of time I've spent in a dirty house. Which is, by the way, like, I think a dirty, like, living environment contributes to a lot of negative. Like, there are many downsides to living in a dirty place besides the fact that your place would then be dirty. Pro tip with Toy Cat right there. That kind of scared me. Hopefully it scared you too. Should we watch grass grow for a bit now? Mundane task number 9. Toy Cat watches grass grow. This seems like a really minor task, because, like, why do you even need to? What is even the point in this? What are you doing here, Toy Cat, besides trying to torture us? But hear me out on this one. Also, there's jungle logs in here. Oh, this is another chest I need to sort out. Oh, I've got some dirt. I can place dirt while we watch grass grow. Or should I not place dirt while we watch grass grow? I know. Once you start watching grass grow, there's this real problem where you can't leave early. You can't leave before you see some green overtake some brown, right? You need to wait out the storm. There's a lot of activities like this actually that have that kind of hump where start strong. Oh, there we go. We saw some grass. Hey, see, that was exciting just because of the build-up. It was an objectively unexciting activity that was made much more exciting by the build-up we put in ourselves. There's another valuable lesson, actually. Like, I guess everything in life can seem lame if you frame it the wrong way, and everything in life can seem cool if you frame it the right way. The only reason some things seem lame and some things don't is because of your social circle. Oh, I think I went on a rant about this recently, about, like, yeah, there are most things that most people do most of the time just suck. And you can look at that two ways and say, well, I'll do anything with the right people, because I think people are actually the thing that define fun things versus not fun things. You have way more fun if you're doing something that someone you perceive to be socially, you know, like, someone who you would perceive to know what is fun and what not is like, yeah, this is fun. And you're like, well, it's not my thing, but clearly someone likes it. Like, there is an element of wanting to socially fill a vacuum and socially find a spot for you. And that's why so many stupid activities. Again, I don't want to say stupid activities, but stupid activities right here. For instance, if you're I was going to say if you're below or above the age of 18, if you're at either age, you probably have heard of the concept of clubbing, right? You go into a place, you give yourself hearing damage, and you pay for the privilege of doing so while dancing near strangers who also are going deaf, who you can't talk to because it's that loud, by the way. And then you do that every night, but for like a decade of your life, if you're certain people. And it's like, that's not actually fun, but you do it, and sometimes you meet people, and those people make it worthwhile to you. That's what I've always thought is the justification. Like, it's the most socially unawkward way. If you're really socially awkward, then it's a way where, like, it's one of the few activities where, like, meeting people is built in that isn't weird. And that's why I actually think people who are very outgoing in that sort of way, you know, to places with drinking involved, are actually the least sociable people, because they can only socialize in those specific situations. Also, we've got one more mundane activity we need to do today. But, you know what? Maybe the mundane activity should be deciding what a mundane activity is. No, what it actually is going to be? Also, this is always nerve-wracking every time I do it. What it's actually going to be is I'm going to chop down a bunch... Oh, that's really, really fun to do. I'm going to chop down a bunch of bamboo because... Oh, man. Oh, okay. So glad. I didn't mess that one up worse. Basically, I need sticks also to make some torches. And one of the easiest ways to get sticks is with bamboo. So we're just going to harvest some bamboo for a bit. And I'm going to bring this video up to a nice round 59 minutes. But, yeah, the whole point of this video was to show you lots of silly things you'd never normally see in a video, right? Or, I mean, you do see in my videos, but sometimes. But even then, it's like, this isn't a thing most YouTubers get to show. But isn't every moment in a video game equally valuable? Isn't every thing you ever will do or see in a game equally as valid as the next thing? Also, are the minecart hoppers going around or not? They might not be. I might look around here till I see them. Are you around? It must have frozen somewhere. Yeah, that's what. Oh, there we go. So what we're gonna do? Because I'm currently doing all the job that the minecart hopper should be doing. You know, jeez, get a job, Mr. Minecart Hopper. But yeah, basically, it's gonna kick me out here, isn't it? Basically, yeah, one of the things I need to get done is this. I've got a massive automated farm. As soon as these grow 3 high, what happens, as you can see, is everything gets chopped down. It all falls down here, and then a minecart hopper should come round and pick it up. Oh, no. Okay, okay. The minecart hopper didn't care about me, apparently. But yeah, that's the basic goal here. And while we do this, we're also going to chop down this whole forest. Is it a forest? I've got 2 minutes left. I've got something I need to get off my chest, internet. So, I know this is a bit weird, it's a bit out there, but I enjoy sneezing more than I enjoy most things. Sneezing is such a fun pastime, and sometimes it's just like, you know, you get upset because you think you're gonna sneeze, and then your body's like, ah, got you. I think those are the worst moments. I think those are the saddest moments in my life. You know, I said earlier, I've been sad, like a couple of months ago. The real reason was I got teased by too many sneezes. I started to question what was real and what was not. And that's not a good place for anyone to ever be in. So I hope you, if you ever go through the same situation, make sure you get some help. Make sure that you don't get sad. Because, you know, there'll always be another sneeze. There's plenty of sneezes in the sea. Or sneezes in the infections department of the hospital. And if that is not a lesson to live by, I don't know what is. But yeah, we made ourselves a bunch of sticks now, which is very good. There's a random pressure plate here. And I'm going to step on it at the end of this video. Because if you don't know what it does, then boy, are you going to be excited by this. So thank you very much for watching today's video. You don't like it. I mean, that's not for your interests or for mine. You can subscribe if for some reason this is the sort of content that makes you go, wow, yeah, I like more of this in my day. And also, if you had a good time, then good news, I'm about to press the pressure plate, and you're going to see what this does. Because again, it's a surprise to people who have never seen it before. Because when I step on the pressure plate, nothing happens. It's a mundane pressure plate. The perfect end to a mundane video. Thank you very much for watching, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.